Hey everyone, welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. Today on the desk I have my rotation, my current rotation, the core of my collection, my trio of S's. I have a Santos, I have a Submariner, and I have a Speedmaster. And I wanted to take the opportunity and talk a little bit about my rotation, my collection, what I love, what I'd like to change, what's coming on the horizon, and just kind of ramble a little bit. This is an outlet for me as a crazy watch person, and I know a lot of you that watch me, you're also crazy watch people, and you will be able to relate to my journey. But anyways, guys, let's start with the newest addition here to the collection. This is the Santos. This is the Santos de Cartier in the large size, and this is the watch that essentially has replaced the Vacheron Constantin Overseas that I recently sold within the past couple months. And I know a lot of you actually were pretty upset at me for selling that lovely high horology piece that I adored. But you know what? This is my collection. This is my wrist. This is my budget. And I know some of you won't believe me, but I actually enjoy the Santos more than I enjoy the Overseas. And I absolutely love the Overseas. I mean, it's a heck of a watch, and technically it is superior to the Santos, but for whatever reason, I don't know. This hobby is not logical, at least for me. It's more emotional. I just enjoy the Santos more. And my friend Evan of the YourTerrific watch channel, fantastic watch channel, he said in one of his videos, and I watched all of his Santos videos, probably 10 times each, but he said one thing in one of his videos, that if Cartier had just slowly raised the price over the decades, and this was now a $20,000 watch, nobody would blink an eye. It would be just as desirable and likely more sought after at the higher price than it is right now at $7,000. And, it would fit in right alongside the Royal Oak and the Nautilus. And, I thought about that, and I think he's spot on. I really do. This is the original sport watch. This is the first basically men's wrist watch. Fantastic, lovely history. And the design is relatively unchanged, well over 100 years, that span. And I find that impressive. When you get it right the first time and you attain that sense of elegance and mastery of proportions and details, it only has to be slightly refined and modernized over the decades, which is exactly what Cartier has done. And so I absolutely adore the Santos. And I'm working on a full presentation, a full review on this one that hopefully will drop within the next month. And I'm trying to make it one of my best ever videos because that's how I feel about the Santos. It's lovely. So we're going to talk more about that in a future video. This is my most valuable watch. This is my most worn watch. And this is the watch I think that I've had this one longer. But I've had this one for about a year and a half now. But this is the discontinued Submariner in the 40mm maxi case. And yes, I do prefer this Hulk to the new Cermet or Starbucks or ceramic Kermit, whatever you want to call it. This one just speaks to me. And I know people think it's a stupid shade of green. You can't match it with anything. It's ugly. No, it's not about that at all for me. I think it's absolutely mesmerizing. Rolex puts a little bit of gold dust in the sunray in the dial, and so this thing really sings. And it's not about the collectability, because I've loved this watch back when Rolex authorized dealers were offering discounts because nobody wanted the green. They always wanted the black. They wanted the no date. They didn't want the ugly green LV version. So I adore this. This is my most valuable watch. This is my most worn watch. And I would say it's not my most comfortable. That would belong to the Santos. The Santos is the most comfortable, but I think this is probably the easiest to wear daily driver when it comes to the robustness, the water resistance, the light play, the adjustability. It's a lovely watch, which takes us to the Speedy. Now, you guys know, you can probably see a theme here. I like different color. I really like a good bracelet, and I like some variety when it comes to manufacturers and movements. And I would say the Santos and the Submariner bracelet, they're just on the next level. They're among the best in the business. And the bracelet on the Speedmaster is a little bit average. It's a little bit lacking. And if you have a smaller wrist, the protruding center portion of the end link can make it a deal breaker. So that is one of the changes I have planned, is selling my Sapphire Sandwich after I buy the new updated Metis certified Sapphire Sandwich, which I'm waiting on my authorized dealer. They're just waiting on restock. And as soon as they get one in, boom, pulling the trigger, getting it in, I'll do a review and a comparison side by side with the outgoing discontinued version and the new Metis Master Chronometer Moon Watch. And I'm looking forward to doing that. Couple thoughts here, and I'll drop in some pictures and macro clips. But I think the new Speedmaster, with its subtle dialed tweaks, with the great bracelet change, the dramatic taper, the different end link, the new movement, the master chronometer movement, and the fact that Omega really only raised the price about $1,000, I think it's a great move. I was wrong. I was on record saying, yeah, this is going to be an $8,000, maybe $9,000 watch. It's the icon of Omega, yada, yada. I was talking out the side of my head, pure speculation. But I'm glad the fact that Omega only did a $1,000 price increase. And I think it is a much improved watch. And looking at the details, looking at the step dial, looking at the applied logo and different things, I think it looks more akin to the vintage references that we love and hold in high esteem and high regard, from the 1960s and 1970s, more so than this outgoing generation. So I'm looking forward to making that change. And I've got some other watches on the way or planned for. I can't wait for my authorized dealer to get in the watch that I designed for Tudor. I call it the Bruce Bay. I know, a silly name. It's the Panda chronograph that a year and a half before it came out, I specifically did a video to Tudor and said, hey, please make this exact watch. It will sell excellent. It's not going to be that hard for you to produce. And lo and behold, they make my dreams come true. They make the exact watch. And so I'm waiting on that. That will be added to my collection. And I know I say I don't have keepers. I don't have sacred cows. I don't pretend to have keepers. I don't pretend to have grail watches. But that one, seeing as how I say this facetiously, but seeing as how I designed it for Tudor, that's one I think I've always got to keep no matter what. So anyways, waiting on that. Waiting on the new Master Chronometer Speedmaster. I'm not going to be upgrading this to the Cermet or anything else. I love the Submariner. This is sticking around. I did put a nasty gouge mark in the side of the case. I don't even know how I did that. So I didn't even know how I did that. And then the Santos, this is my dressiest piece, but no, it's not going to be replaced. I would like to buy a Reverso, small seconds, large size, and kind of compare it to the Santos, because those two are arguably the first or the early sports watches for men. And I just love the proportions. I love the Art Deco design of the Reverso. So that's one I want to buy, probably end up flipping, because I don't think it will be able to beat out the Santos from Cartier. And then, of course, there are other watches that I really want to try and check out, and more than just, borrow for a review or see it in an authorized dealer. I want to put money down. I want to, quote unquote, invest in it and spend some time with it and make some memories with the watch on wrist. And two that I'm really considering are both from IWC. I love the Mark 18 Le Petit prints on the bracelet, 40 millimeters, thin, trim, Faraday shield. I love it. Love a good pilot's piece. And then the new in-house Le Petit prints chronograph in the 41 millimeter size. I think the 41 millimeter could be very compelling. So I'm interested to see how those look in person, because I would like to add at least one of them to the collection alongside the Reverso, alongside the new Speedmaster, alongside the new Tudor chronograph. And then honorable mentions, I'm on a wait list for a couple Rolexes locally. I won't divulge which ones yet. And then let's see, I know I have one more. Oh yeah, I want to try the Royal from Tudor as well, but in the two-tone, because I just think that looks a little bit better than stainless steel. But that's what's on the horizon right now. That's what's on the docket. That's what I have planned. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And of course, sharing my thoughts, my experiences, my journey with you here on the channel. And just lastly, real quick, I'd like to talk about these watch stands because I've gotten several messages. They, of course, pop up in my videos. And so let's spend a minute and talk about this. And I will say, I'm not being sponsored. I'm not being paid. I'm not getting freebies or anything like that. This is just good, honest advertising of a product that I like and that I have personally purchased that I think is worth it. I get quite a few emails of brands that are like, hey, check out my product. We'll send you a freebie, do a video, let's collab. This is my dream to own a watch brand. Or, I've got my watch winders for sale or whatever it is. And honestly, guys, most of the time it's absolute fluff. And so I say no, thank you. But Oblique reached out and they said, do you want to check out our product? And I said, hey, let me see it. After I see it and I see the quality, then I'll make the judgment call and we'll see where we go from there. So I got one in, very impressed. And so I had to buy extras because it's really good. So this is an Oblique watch stand. These are made in Seoul, Korea. We have ceramic blasted anodized aluminum here for the base and for the stand. The swing arm is done in stainless steel. This is sheepskin. It's padded. It's nice. These are quite hefty and solid. They're also adjustable when it comes to the height you would like to store your watches at. And one thing that I thought was kind of cool, you could buy one. This is what I was thinking about in the beginning. I'm like, let me get one for my desk at work. And, instead of typing and getting desk scratches while I'm working, I can take the watch off and, set it on the stand, or, I can put it down below if I want to store it that way. But this is really cool because it is as close to zero gravity storage as you can get. So there is no strain on the bracelet. It's not sitting down on a crown, putting a minuscule amount of pressure on the stem. It's just floating there. And I like the presentation because it's just a little bit more exciting than looking at a watch box and, seeing your watches under glass or under a wood top. So this is my go-to storage right now. And when I add more watches to the collection, I'm going to have to add more of these watch stands. If I don't want to store the watches underneath the top here. I know Oblique did a collaboration with Grand Seiko Korea. I don't know if they're available to the public. I'll have to check on that. But if I ever buy a Grand Seiko, and I would like to buy a Grand Seiko, I'd love to get the Oblique Grand Seiko collaboration watch stand. I think that would be really fitting. It's one of those silly little things that kind of is a big deal to us crazy watch enthusiasts. So guys, that wraps up the little bit of a ramble here today. I wanted to take you through my 3 S's, the Santos, the Submariner, the Speedmaster. Also answer a little bit of questions regarding the watch stands that I enjoy. And again, I'm not sponsored, I'm not getting free product or anything like that, but a link will be in the descriptions. Stay tuned for unboxings of the Speedmaster, hopefully, of that chronograph, the Bruce Bay Chrono, maybe a Reverso, maybe an IWC purchase. We're just going to have fun with this. And this is why I'm in the hobby. I enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for being here today. Reach out with comments or questions, and see you next time.